What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for managing blood sugar isn't sitting in a prescription bottle, but in something as simple and as overlooked as when and how you drink water? I know that sounds almost too simple. You're probably thinking, I've been drinking water my entire life. How could that possibly help my diabetes? Or maybe you're skeptical because you've tried so many things that promised results and never delivered. Supplements that did nothing, diets that felt impossible to maintain, advice that sounded smart but didn't translate into better numbers. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share has made a genuine, measurable difference for hundreds of my patients. People who were doing everything right and still struggling. My name is Dr. Matthew Brooks, and today I'm going to show you exactly how proper hydration timing can improve your insulin sensitivity by up to 40%. These are real people I'm talking about, not hypothetical textbook cases. People in their 60s and 70s who take their medications faithfully, never miss a dose, follow meal plans carefully, measure portions, check blood sugar multiple times a day, walk every morning, and still their numbers are unpredictable. Still they feel exhausted. Still they worry every time the A1C results come back. The frustration I witness in my practice is real and heartbreaking. These are individuals who've been fighting this battle for years, sometimes decades. They've spent money on special diabetic foods. They've given up foods they genuinely love. They've done everything their doctors ask them to do, and they're tired. Tired of the constant vigilance. Tired of feeling like they're failing, even when they're trying harder than anyone else around them. And in my years of practice, I've learned something important. Sometimes the most powerful medical interventions aren't the most complicated ones. Sometimes it's the basics we've completely overlooked that create the biggest measurable differences. Recent studies from major medical research institutions have demonstrated something remarkable. Drinking water at specific times throughout the day can improve your insulin sensitivity by up to 40%. That means your body becomes significantly better at using the insulin it has, whether that's your own naturally produced insulin or insulin from medication. The key isn't just how much water you drink, it's when you drink it, how you drink it, and what you add to it. Small strategic changes in timing can create substantial improvements in blood sugar control. Before we go any further, I want to know, where in the world are you watching from right now? Drop your country or city in the comments below. I love seeing how far this message travels, and it reminds all of us that managing blood sugar is a universal challenge we're facing together. Now, this isn't about replacing medication or ignoring your doctor's guidance. This is about giving your body foundational support so it can work more efficiently, so your medications can do what they're designed to do. Let me start by explaining what's happening inside your body as you age, because once you understand this, everything else makes complete sense. After 60, several significant physiological changes occur that make blood sugar control genuinely more challenging, even if you're doing everything right. First, your cells gradually become more resistant to insulin. That means they don't respond as quickly or efficiently when insulin tries to deliver glucose into them for energy. Second, your pancreas doesn't produce insulin as efficiently as it used to, so you're working with less of this crucial hormone circulating in your system. Third, your kidneys don't filter glucose as effectively, meaning excess sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer instead of being eliminated. And here's the part most people, including many healthcare providers, completely miss. Your brain's thirst mechanism becomes significantly less sensitive with age. That last point is absolutely critical. Absolutely. You can be substantially dehydrated, even dangerously dehydrated, without feeling thirsty at all. Your mouth might not feel dry. You might not feel obvious discomfort. But inside your body at the cellular level, things are going wrong. And even mild dehydration, just 2% below optimal hydration levels, which is barely noticeable to you subjectively, can raise blood sugar by 10 to 15 points. That's enough to take you from good control to poor control. That's enough to explain those frustrating morning spikes or unexpected afternoon highs that seem to come from absolutely nowhere. Let me tell you about a patient named Gerald. He was 68, and I could see the frustration written across his face before he even sat down. "Dr. Brooks," he said, his voice tight with emotion, "I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm eating carefully, measuring everything. I take my metformin exactly as prescribed. I walk 3 miles every morning. I've cut out sugar and white bread. I've done everything you and my other doctors told me to do." He pulled out a small notebook completely filled with blood sugar readings. "Look, some mornings it's 145. Other mornings it's 185. Yesterday morning 162. This morning 178. Same breakfast every single day, same steel-cut oatmeal, same measured portion. But the numbers are all over the place. His wife added quietly from beside him. He tries so hard, but his A1C just keeps creeping up, from 7.1 to 7.9 over the past year. We methodically went through his routine. Diet, excellent. Medication timing, perfect. Exercise, consistent. Everything looked right on paper. Then I asked what seemed like an almost trivial question. Gerald, walk me through your morning routine from the moment you wake up until breakfast. He said, I get up around 6:30, check my blood sugar immediately, make coffee, drink my coffee while reading the news on my tablet. Then around 7:30, I make oatmeal and take my medication with a glass of water. I asked him, when do you drink plain water? He paused, genuinely confused. When I'm thirsty, I suppose. Sometimes with my pills. Is that wrong? There it was. Gerald went from 6:30 a.m. until 7:30, sometimes later, before drinking any actual water. 8 hours sleeping without fluids. Then another full hour awake without hydrating. 9 hours total of progressive dehydration. We made simple strategic changes. Every morning before coffee, he drank warm water with a small pinch of sea salt and fresh lemon juice. 15 minutes before lunch and dinner, he drank a glass of room temperature water. He carried a reusable bottle and sipped consistently throughout the day. 2 weeks later, he called my office. His voice sounded completely different, lighter, almost excited. My morning readings have been between 125 and 138 for the past week, every single day. That consistency hasn't happened in over 2 years. A month later, his average fasting glucose had dropped by 22 points. No medication changes whatsoever, just water, timed correctly and consumed strategically. I honestly thought you were a little crazy, he admitted with a genuine smile at his follow-up appointment. Water seemed way too simple to matter, but I can't argue with my glucose meter. The numbers don't lie. Before I teach you the specific method that's helped my patients get these kinds of results, let me explain the 3 most common hydration mistakes I see in my practice. You're almost certainly making at least one of these right now. Mistake number 1, waiting until you're thirsty. Thirst isn't an early warning system. It's an alarm bell that goes off only after you're already significantly dehydrated. By the time your mouth feels genuinely dry, your blood has already thickened, glucose levels have already elevated, and insulin is already struggling to work efficiently. Think of it this way. Your blood is like a river carrying glucose to cells throughout your body. When that river is full and flowing, glucose moves smoothly to where it needs to go. When the river runs low, it becomes thick, sluggish, slow-moving. Glucose gets stuck. It accumulates in the bloodstream instead of being delivered to cells that desperately need it for energy. Mistake number 2, drinking huge amounts all at once. Some people go hours without water, then suddenly drink a massive glass trying to catch up. But your body can only absorb about 200 to 250 milliliters every 15 minutes, roughly 1 cup. Anything beyond that often passes straight through to your bladder without truly hydrating your cells. It's like watering a houseplant. If you dump an entire bucket all at once, most of it runs off the sides and the roots stay dry. But if you water slowly and steadily, the soil absorbs it and the roots get what they need. Mistake number 3, drinking ice-cold water, especially in the morning or before meals. I know cold water feels refreshing, but ice-cold water causes blood vessels to constrict and narrow. When vessels narrow, insulin has a harder time reaching the cells that need it. Room temperature or slightly warm water keeps blood vessels more relaxed and naturally dilated, allowing insulin to circulate and work far more efficiently. This is especially critical in the morning and around meals when your body is actively processing glucose. Now let me teach you the specific method I use with my patients. I call it the H3 method. H stands for hydration. The first 3 represents 3 timing points throughout your day. The second 3 represents 3 essential elements that make this work. Let's start with the timing points. Timing point number 1, first thing in the morning. This is the single most important timing point of the entire day. The moment you wake up, before coffee, before breakfast, before checking your phone, drink 1 full glass of warm water. About 350 milliliters, roughly 12 ounces. Here's the crucial addition. Add a tiny pinch of natural sea salt. I mean genuinely tiny, just what fits on the tip of a butter knife, and squeeze in juice from about half a fresh lemon. Why these additions? After 8 hours of sleep, you're not just dehydrated from lack of water, you've also lost electrolytes through normal nighttime processes. That small amount of sea salt provides sodium, potassium, and magnesium that help your cells absorb and utilize the water, rather than letting it pass straight through. The lemon adds vitamin C and creates slight acidity that can help stabilize your body's blood sugar response to your first meal of the day. And this simple morning ritual does something remarkable. It signals your adrenal glands to calm down. Those glands naturally produce cortisol, your stress hormone, which peaks every morning. Cortisol tells your liver to release stored glucose into the bloodstream. By calming that stress response with hydration and minerals, you can prevent an unnecessary morning blood sugar spike. Let me tell you about Elizabeth. She was 72. Type 2 diabetes for 14 years, and her biggest frustration was her morning blood sugar. She'd wake up consistently at 165 or 175, even after a careful dinner and a perfectly acceptable bedtime reading. We started with just one change: warm water with a tiny pinch of sea salt and fresh lemon juice first thing every morning, at least 20 minutes before coffee. 3 weeks later, her average morning reading had dropped to 128. Same medication dosage, same evening routine. The only difference was how she started her day. I wake up feeling different too, she told me. More clear-headed, less foggy, and that lower morning number gives me confidence for the whole day. Timing point number 2. Before meals. About 15 minutes before lunch and dinner, drink a smaller glass of water, about 150 to 200 milliliters, just 1 cup. This habit does something physiologically important. It prepares digestion and stimulates enzyme production. And for blood sugar management, it slightly dilutes stomach contents, which can slow how rapidly carbohydrates are absorbed into the bloodstream. When carbs enter the bloodstream gradually instead of all at once, your available insulin can keep up. Your blood sugar rises gently instead of spiking dramatically. Clinical studies show this habit can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 20%. That's often the difference between struggling with control and maintaining good management. Timing. Point number 3. During physical activity, if you walk, garden, do chores, or do any sustained activity for more than 20 minutes, you need water during that activity, not just afterward when you're already depleted. Aim for about 100 to 120 milliliters every 15 minutes of sustained activity. Small sips, not large gulps. This keeps blood volume stable and helps prevent blood sugar fluctuations that commonly happen with exertion in people with diabetes. Now let's cover the second 3, the essential elements. Element number 1, temperature matters. Room temperature or slightly warm water is ideal, especially in the morning and before meals. Around 22 to 24 Celsius, roughly 72 to 75 ratings. Cold water isn't bad, but warm water helps blood vessels stay relaxed and dilated, supporting better insulin circulation and delivery. It's a small difference that compounds over time. Element number 2, minerals matter. Pure demineralized water alone isn't enough. Your cells require minerals to absorb and use water effectively. That tiny pinch of sea salt in your morning water provides those minerals. Natural sea salt contains sodium, potassium, and magnesium in better balance. Avoid regular processed table salt. It's often stripped of trace minerals. Choose unrefined sea salt or Himalayan pink salt that still contains the full spectrum your body needs. Element number 3, timing consistency. Your body thrives on predictable routine. Drinking water at consistent times every day helps regulate your metabolic system. Morning water at the same time. Pre-meal water at regular intervals. This consistency helps stabilize blood sugar patterns over time. There's one more addition I often recommend. About 1 hour before bed, drink one final glass of warm water with 200 milliliters of magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate dissolved into it. Magnesium is crucial for insulin function, and most people over 60 are deficient. Taking it before sleep serves 2 purposes. It helps muscles relax for deeper sleep, and it can keep blood sugar more stable throughout the night. Everyone asks me this exact question: Doctor, how much water should I actually drink each day? Here's a simple practical formula. Take your body weight in pounds and divide by 2. That number in ounces is your baseline daily water target. For example, if you weigh 160 pounds, you need about 80 ounces daily, roughly 10 standard cups. If you exercise or spend time in heat, add one extra cup for every 20 minutes of activity or heat exposure. How do you know if you're drinking enough? Look at urine color. It should be pale yellow, like lemonade. Not clear, which can signal overhydration. Not dark yellow or amber, which signals dehydration. Pale yellow is the target. Here's an easy implementation strategy. Get a reusable bottle that holds about 24 ounces. Fill it 3 times throughout the day. Once in the morning, once at midday, once in the afternoon. That's 72 ounces total, perfect for most adults. Keep it visible, kitchen counter, desk, car. Visual reminders work better than willpower. So what happens when you begin this method? What should you realistically expect? In the first week, you'll probably feel like you're running to the bathroom constantly. That's normal. Your body is adjusting. This usually settles down by week 2. You should notice your morning blood sugar starting to stabilize, maybe 10 to 15 points lower on average. Not a dramatic overnight transformation, but consistent, measurable improvement. By weeks 2 to 3, many people report more stable energy, less of that frustrating afternoon crash. Post-meal readings become more predictable. By week 4, if you check your A1C later on, you may see it beginning to trend downward. Not necessarily a huge drop immediately, but clear movement in the right direction. And here's what I hear most often. Doctor, I just feel better. I can't explain it perfectly, but I feel more like myself again. That's what proper hydration can create. It doesn't cure diabetes, it doesn't replace necessary medication, but it helps your body work the way it was designed to work. Let me be absolutely clear about something critical. This is not a replacement for proper medical care. If you're taking diabetes medication, do not stop. If your doctor has you following a management plan, continue it faithfully. This hydration method supports your existing medication, helping it work more efficiently in your body. I've had patients who, after 3 consistent months, were able to reduce medication dosages under their doctor's supervision. Not because water replaced medicine, but because their metabolic system started functioning more optimally. If you have any degree of kidney disease, talk with your physician before increasing water intake. For most people, this approach is safe and beneficial. But if kidneys aren't filtering properly, you need individualized professional guidance. If you're taking blood pressure medication, pay close attention as you increase hydration. Proper hydration can naturally lower blood pressure, which is beneficial, but might require dosage adjustments. Watch for dizziness and report it to your doctor. Let me tell you about Dorothy. She was 74 when we first met. She'd been managing diabetes for 19 years, multiple medications, restrictive diets, diabetes education classes. She understood carb counting better than most nutritionists, but her A1C had been creeping up. It was now 8.6, and her endocrinologist was discussing starting insulin. I feel like I've failed, she told me quietly. I've done everything right for 19 years, but my body keeps getting worse. Maybe this is just what happens. Her hydration habits were terrible. 3 or 4 small glasses of water a day, if that. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. But actual plain water? Very little. I never feel thirsty, she explained. And honestly, I hate using the bathroom constantly. It's embarrassing when I'm out with friends. We started the H3 method. Yes, the first week she needed the bathroom more, but I assured her that within 10 to 14 days, her body would adjust. 6 weeks later, she walked into my office looking noticeably younger, eyes brighter, skin healthier, actually smiling. My numbers are the best they've been in 5 years, she said, proudly showing her glucose log. My average used to hover around 185 to 205. Now I'm consistently 145 to 165. My doctor reduced one of my medications. But she said it wasn't just about the meter. I have energy again, real energy. I can think clearly without that constant fog. I even started gardening again, something I gave up 2 years ago. 3 months later, her A1C came back at 7.3, down from 8.6. You gave me my life back, she said, tears streaming down her face. But they were happy tears, with water, something that costs virtually nothing. I just wish someone had explained this to me 19 years ago when I was diagnosed. Dorothy's story is exactly why I create these educational videos. because there are thousands of people like her struggling right now, trying so hard, feeling defeated, when sometimes the answer is simpler than anyone could imagine. I want to challenge you personally to try this approach for 14 days. Just 2 weeks. Follow the H3 method exactly as I outlined it. Morning water with sea salt and lemon immediately upon waking. Water 15 minutes before lunch and dinner. Daily water spread consistently throughout the day. Magnesium water before bed. Track your blood sugar during those 2 weeks. See for yourself if numbers improve. Pay attention to how you feel. Energy, thinking, sleep quality. If after 2 weeks you see real improvement, keep going. Make this your permanent normal. And please leave a comment telling me what you noticed. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take this seriously. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please type "I watched till the end" in the comments below. It helps me know this message is reaching people who truly need it, and it helps YouTube share this information with more people struggling with blood sugar management. And then tell me, are you going to try the H3 method? What's your biggest struggle with staying hydrated? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single message. If this was helpful, share it with someone who's struggling with blood sugar, a parent, a spouse, a close friend who could benefit from this simple, practical strategy. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos on managing diabetes, improving metabolic health, and living well with chronic conditions. Thank you for being here and for taking your health seriously. Remember, small strategic changes implemented consistently create measurable results over time. Take care of yourself. This is Dr. Matthew Brooks, and I'll see you in the next one.